Hi, I'm TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast, and I ask that you like, share, and comment on this video. Thanks for watching. All I gotta say is, who dat?
Hey, don't let these tears fool you. There's all dog around this mug. I'm good.
Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones. And yes, I am the host of the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you all so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. Thank you all for tuning in. Shouts out to everybody in the chat. Shouts out to everybody listening around the country and around the world. Want to give a special shout out to everybody that checked out the Gumbo Pot Sports podcast. Shouts out to Aisha Morrison, covering the Dallas Cowboys. We talked to her for a few minutes about the Cowboys and the NFC East. Just want to let you all know that's how, the Gumbo Pot rolls. I see some people in the live chat, going at it, getting mad that I was interviewing somebody for the Cowboys. But guess what? Every last one of you are responsible for this. And let me tell you why. The reason why you're responsible is because you believed in me. Okay, you believed in me, and you all helped the State of the Saints podcast grow into the podcast that it is. And as y'all know, when you grow, you have to, develop, right? It's rather you be complacent or, you can move on and grow. So thank you all so much for your contributions to that. I just want to let you know, I love sports. I love sports. I just want to let you all know that. I think you all know that. And I just wanted to branch out and do something different. So maybe a little bit different if you've been following the State of Saints podcast, different vibe, different feel that may appear on the channel. But it's all about giving you all content, right? It's all about giving content and also just talking sports. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you all. It wouldn't be no Gumbo Pot Sports podcast if it wasn't so many great people helping the State of the Saints podcast be what it is. So some teams you might like, some teams you may not like, some teams you may be able to tolerate. But nevertheless, we're going to be talking about sports on the Gumbo Pot Sports podcast. And of course, I ask that you subscribe to that channel, youtube.com, search Gumbo Pot Sports podcast. And also check out gumbopotsports.com. 2 new articles that I just released today. 3 bold predictions I have for the NFL season. And I just wrote an article about the individual who we're going to be talking about on this episode today, defensive end Cameron Jordan. But let's talk about Cameron Jordan, man. Cameron Jordan going into his 13th season, 33 years old, has 115 and a half sacks, 150 tackles for loss, 8-time Pro Bowler, first team All-Pro in 2017. The fact that I can just sprout off those stats is just unbelievable. But anyway, Cam Jordan is in his final year of his NFL contract. And there's a lot of questions among the Who Dat Nation, which, I mean, to be quite honest with you, I don't understand what the question is. But you really have some, I won't say you really, because I don't want to seem insensitive. But some members of the Who Dat Nation feel that maybe the New Orleans Saints need to move on from Cameron Jordan. They believe that, Cameron Jordan being 33 years of age, him being in his 13th year, maybe the Saints may need to be looking at going and moving on to another defensive end, right? And trying to maybe sign someone younger or draft someone younger. And I just have to say this. Anybody that feels this way, number one, you're well within your rights to feel any way you want to feel. But me personally, I feel like that is the dumbest that I have ever heard in my entire life. Cameron Jordan is one of the most necessary New Orleans Saints ever. I'm going to say that again. Cameron Jordan is one of the most necessary Saints ever. I'll go a little deeper. Cameron Jordan is top 3 most important New Orleans Saint ever. Seriously. That's the way I feel about Cameron Jordan. Now, before anybody just starts getting mad at me and say, TJ, you tripping, allow me to elaborate on why I feel the way that I feel. Cameron Jordan has been in the league for 13 years. He's going into the 13th year. Cameron Jordan has started in every single game for the New Orleans Saints on the defensive line, for the exception of 2. And one of those games, he had COVID. It wasn't even an injury. You know, like he just had COVID, right? And at that time, you know, you can't play with COVID. This man has been the epitome of an Iron Man. This man has been more durable than Drew Brees. He has been out there constantly. When the defense was absolutely hot garbage, this man was the silver lining in a dark cloud that was that defense. When we was around here breaking our television sets, watching Brandon Browner give up holding call after holding call after holding call. No disrespect to Delvin Breaux, but when Delvin Breaux was looking up at the lights against the Jacksonville Jaguars, when you had guys who couldn't stop traffic with a stop sign, Cameron Jordan was that silver lining. You can always count on Cam Jordan to be there, be available, and give you a play in a clutch situation. Even last year, in his 12th season, he still almost had double-digit sacks. He had 8.5 sacks. And for the exception of his first season when he only had a lowly sack, he basically has been on a tear ever since. So if you want to be technical about it, for 11 seasons, this dude has been on a warpath. He has more sacks, if I'm not mistaken, more than J.J. Watt, right? Probably the only person that was a part of his draft class who we look at, like the Von Millers, right? J.J. Watts. He is only behind Von Miller. This is one of those situations where people are spoiled by the greatness. Allow me to elaborate again. You're spoiled by the greatness because you look at him and you expect him to be who he is, right? You feel like you can just replace this with anybody. This dude has made himself so like he put himself in like a whole different atmosphere. It's like with Drew Brees. Like we took Drew Brees for granted for so long that we didn't realize what life was like without a competent quarterback until he left. We didn't realize how special we actually had it because we always had it. We didn't realize how special it was to not be one of those teams where you have to talk about who's going to be the quarterback, watching quarterback competitions. It has probably been like 3 years. What, 3 out of the last, 18? Let's give it 18. Out of 18 years, we have not had conversations about quarterback competitions. For the last, 13 years, we never had to worry about who is going to be that dominant pass rusher for the New Orleans Saints. So for anybody that feels that Cameron Jordan should not be a part of the Saints organization going forward, if you feel like Cameron Jordan, and I'm not saying that this is like a victory lap where you got like John Sally on the bench, or if you're a Miami Heat fan, you got Udonis Haslem. This man is still out here balling, still out here among the top pass rushers on the team. So it's not like I'm just saying, oh, let's just give him a little victory lap. This man is still out there producing at a high level, better than the younger guys on the team. So when I say this, I'm saying it because he's still giving you the production that you're looking for, guys like Peyton Turner, and that you look for in guys like Marcus Davenport when he was here to give you. He is still giving you that. So for anybody that feels like this man don't belong, anybody that feels like this guy has not has not done enough to be one of those players that comes, in elite forms, right? Players that start their career with some team and end their career with a team. This dude has earned that, right? I mean, he has earned the Brady treatment. Let me say this. Tom Brady played 20 years for the not Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the New England Patriots before he went to the Buccaneers. He played 20 years, right? That's a solid career right there. This is a guy who deserves the Dan Marino treatment. He deserves to be a Saint for the rest of his career. The only reason I feel like the New Orleans Saints should move on from Cam Jordan, if the New Orleans Saints are like, you know what, we're in a process of rebuilding. We don't want to have Cam Jordan being a part of a rebuild. Cam, we want you to be here, but we want you to go out here and chase the championship so you can solidify your legacy. Because we already know that Cam Jordan is going to Canton. He's going to the Hall of Fame. That's the only reason I feel like Cam Jordan should not be a part of the New Orleans Saints organization. If they have come to themselves and say, we are going to be rebuilding this team, then send Cam Jordan to another team where he can try to go after a championship. But as long as the Saints feel like they're in championship contention, as long as the Saints feel like they're capable of making a postseason, as long as they feel like they got everything together, then Cam Jordan should be a New Orleans Saint. I cannot believe who that nation. I was on social media on yesterday, and you had a person came to me talking about, well, yeah, let's go ahead and exhaust the cap for Cam Jordan. Somebody please tell me, seriously, look at that defensive line. Somebody tell me what defensive lineman on the New Orleans Saints team is worth paying more than Cam Jordan. Which one of those guys have given you more production than Cam Jordan? That Cam Jordan should not be looked at as top priority. Now, if there was one of those situations where you had a guy like Peyton Turner come in and he's on an actual warpath, maybe you can make it interesting, right? Like Peyton Turner trending in the right direction. I know we want Cam, but man, this guy's gonna at least a couple $100 million here. So maybe we need to think about this. But none of those guys have come close to being able to knock Cam Jordan off his stool. Cam Jordan deserves to be a New Orleans Saint for the rest of his career. Seriously. I ain't seen no drop off. I seen, there have been times where I feel like maybe, like he probably could have gotten to the quarterback from time to time, but you can say that about anybody. But when have you ever seen this dude giving up on a play? When you ever seen somebody just dominate his side when they run into the right side? When have you seen this? I ain't seen it. This man continues to control the edge. He continues to run with a high motor, and he continues to go on this warpath, and he continues to be among the top sack leaders on the team. New Orleans Saints, pay this man his money from what he contributes to the team, what he does in the community, what he means to the New Orleans Saints as a staff, organization, and mother-loving crew, going as him being extended by itself. So that's the way I feel about Cam Jordan. I don't care what anybody says. Cam Jordan, top 3 most important New Orleans Saint of all time. Seriously, that's the way I feel about this dude. That's the way I feel about it. So let me go ahead and read some of your comments. The whole conversation got me fired up because it makes absolutely no sense that you have people up here debating this. Like, seriously, if you're going to have a debate, like, man, let it be something worth debating. We're debating if Cam Jordan is worth a contract extension. Man, knock it off. The Saints have tried desperately. Seriously, they have tried to replace Cam Jordan. This is one of those situations like you remember like with Pierre Thomas, right? The Saints tried desperately to try to get Pierre Thomas off the field. They tried desperately to try to get anybody in here other than Pierre Thomas. And no matter what running back came through the spot, nobody can knock Pierre Thomas off that spot. So imagine Pierre Thomas times 10. And that's what you got with Cam Jordan. No matter who they bring in, he still remains the top pass rusher on his team. He still remains the anchor of this team. He still remains the undisputed captain of that defense. No disrespect to Demario Davis, but Cam Jordan was here first, right? You know what I'm saying? They both are really good leaders. Top 5 leaders in the NFL, if you ask me, when it comes to the locker room. But when it comes to the undisputed leader, Cam Jordan is the guy. It is no like there's I used to have a teacher named Mr. Loach. She used to say, no question or debate. Shouts out to my old math teacher, Mr. Loach. He used to say, no discussion or debate. This is no discussion or debate at all about where this dude stands when it comes to him being the anchor of this defense. Anybody want to argue with that, you just trying to get your Skip Bayless on. Seriously. You're just trying to go against the grain. You're just trying to talk about something to be opposite, to be controversial. There is no debate that this dude is the straw that stirs the drink when it comes to the New Orleans Saints. If you didn't have Cam Jordan in this locker room in 2022, after the things that the New Orleans Saints went through with the injuries and the close but no cigar losses and all these things, I guarantee you they will not be 7-10. 4-5 games tops. The fact that New Orleans Saints, they were as competitive, even in losses, is a testament to the locker room that they have. Because we already heard Dennis Allen talking about the locker room holding each other accountable. He didn't say anything about me holding the locker room accountable. He said the locker room holding the players accountable. So when you think about the locker room, you think about the leadership. Who's the leader in that locker room? No, said. Let's go ahead and read some of your comments. Thank y'all for being here. We got 80 people here right now. I ask that you hit the like button, all 80 of you. Man, listen, why are we even having this conversation? We having this conversation to be quite honest, because you really have people out here that really feel the Saints need to move on from them. I mean, I couldn't believe it. Like I couldn't believe it. Like when I seen the articles about the Saints and talks with Cam Jordan about an extension, and you had people talking about questioning that, I'm like, this is a joke, an absolute joke. Cam is the Iron Man team leader, never gives up. Says give Cam what he wants or as close to it as possible. And some people like feel like, oh man, Cam, he up there in age, man. You trying to break the bank, man. You ain't like I ain't never heard Cam Jordan talk about breaking no bank. There's been several times in which Cam Jordan has restructured his deal in order for the Saints to bring defense and offensive players onto this team. I don't know what people getting these articles from. I don't know what people getting their talking points from. I don't know what it is. I don't know where you're getting your news sources from, but they lying to you. This man has bent over backwards and made sacrifices for this team. Like I don't understand like what people are talking about when they say that he. I don't get it. I know at least 3 times I can remember a story coming across the wire saying that Cam Jordan restructured his deal to make the cap more cap friendly. What more do you want? The man making sacrifices for the team. The man is a true leader on the team. The man never misses games. The man stays, within the top sack leaders on the team. Always seems to be the sack leader of the team. What more do you want? What more do you want from somebody? And my question is, if not him, then who? Seriously, if not Cam, then who? Who are we talking about? Who we gonna replace him with? That's what I want to know. Who y'all want to replace him with? Who y'all think that's capable on the New Orleans Saints team in 2023? What they got right now that you can be like, man, we good, Cam? Which one? Let me know. Feel free to put it in the chat. Cam has earned his contract extension, plus these young defensive linemen need him for leadership. Exactly. He's the only one staying strong. Correct me if I'm wrong. He only missed 1 game in 13 years. 1 game in 13 years due to an injury. 1. I don't even count that second game where, all those players was out for the Miami Dolphins game. They don't even, like okay, the whole world was dealing with COVID-19 during that time. When it comes to injury, this dude has been durable. If it wasn't for that situation, he would have been out there on the field trying to go after Tua Tagovailoa. What more do you want? This is one of those situations where you take a player for granted and you don't realize how great you have it until that player is gone. Because he has basically pulled the wool over a lot of fans' eyes. They feel like they can always get somebody like this. You can always find somebody like this. No, you can't. On the defensive line, how many great defensive linemen have you seen in your lifetime, have witnessed in your lifetime, have been on a warpath, but never misses games? J.J. Watt was on a warpath. All of a sudden, he started to get hurt. Von Miller was on a warpath. He missed half of last year. Right? Think about some of these other guys that you think about. And they always seem to find little nagging injuries and can't be on the field. But this dude, setting the edge for almost 13 seasons, going into the 13th season, only missed 2 games. 2. Man, y'all better get this man his flowers while he's here. For real. Like you got to be kidding me. They pulling it out their rears, TJ. I don't know where they pulling it out. But they need to put it back because that's ridiculous. I give it 2 or 3 years of Cam to stay a Saint. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the only reason I feel like you should move on from this dude and not give him like a 2 or 3 year extension, if you just feel like you're rebuilding and you know that your team is probably more than likely not capable of finding championship success, then I feel like you should allow him to move on and try to chase after a championship and solidify his legacy. I thought Chauncey was going to be a Saint for life. Boy, I was wrong. He's been on 2 different stints. Looking at C.J. Gardner-Johnson and looking at Cam Jordan is like 2 different things right there. You know, Cam Jordan, you don't never really hear nothing about no Cam Jordan being a locker room problem, really having issues with his teammates. Everybody pretty much, he's very endearing. He's endearing to his teammates. People love him. You know what I'm saying? The community love him. I ain't never heard nobody really say nothing bad about him at all. I mean, I know him and Akeem Hicks used to go back and forth, but they were like really good friends. They still are good friends. So I never seen anybody in that locker room ever just went at Cam Jordan like that. I ain't never seen that. There's been times where we feel like, Cam Jordan is animated. He's funny. He has his little funny sound bites from time to time. But one thing you never can say about Cam Jordan that he ever quit on the team. He never threw his hands up. He never, no matter what the record is, no matter what the loss was, you ain't never seen Cam Jordan just come up there just reading a riot act to the team. Even when honestly it was necessary last year when the offense couldn't do a doggone thing, right? And this man still sat up there and rallied behind his teammates, no matter who the quarterback was, no matter who was playing. That's a leader right there. That's what you want. And when it comes to C.J. Gardner-Johnson, no disrespect to him, I think he's a good player. I think he's fiery. I think that he's a necessary, I call it a necessary evil. I think you need a C.J. Gardner-Johnson on everybody's team. Everybody should have a C.J. Gardner-Johnson on their team. A guy who is more like an enforcer, that gnat that keeps on biting at you. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep on slapping that. I think you need that guy because those guys are the ones that throw the opponents off their game. But, you can't just be out there talking, running your mouth and can't play. He was talking, running his mouth, and he can play. But, I mean, it's night and day. It's not even a comparison here. This will probably be his last contract. He has been a warrior and should be rewarded for just 2 games missed. Hall of Famer for sure. Yeah, I mean, look, man is in the conversation, definitely. I don't even think he should be in the conversation. I think the conversation over. Now, you can talk about, man, he ain't never made a Super Bowl and all that kind of stuff, but it ain't had nothing to do with him. I mean, the times where the New Orleans Saints could have improved on defense, could have changed, defensive coordinators could have went and add some depth. They'd rather just sit out there and use Drew Brees' arm all the way up until about 2017. And then they decided that, let's play defense now because Drew's getting old. What? I mean, you didn't think about that when he was in his prime and he was throwing for 300-400 yards a game, trying to keep you in the game. And then, I know people get mad and they talk about, well, man, look at Drew Brees, man. He took that big contract, this, that, and the third. But think about this. Has contracts and money been an issue over the last 5 years for the New Orleans Saints? They found ways to move money around, to extend guys, to restructure deals in order to bring guys in to make the team better. My question is, what the hell took so long? Well, I can tell you what took so long. It was Sean Payton's ego that took so long. The fact that he wanted to keep his buddies around, right? Keep his friends around, those guys that didn't mean well for the team as a collective unit. Like you look at guys like Bill Johnson and all these other guys that have come and gone, Joe Vitt, what have you. Yeah, they found homes and, for the Rams and XFL and all these other places that needed coaches, but they really set the team back by him holding on and trying to retain these dudes and hoping that things get better and hoping that Drew Brees can just lead them through the darkness. They should have been changed this. They should have been helped, but they didn't, right? So, I mean, if they probably would have, pulled the trigger a couple of years early instead of a couple of years late, who knows how many championships they would have had. TJ Cam had 8.5 sacks last year. Why not pay him? I don't know. I don't see a reason. Guys in their 12th season have 8.5 sacks still. Normally guys normally guys around that time, they probably get 2-3 sacks. This man's still flirting with double digits in his 12th year. That's crazy. I knew C.J. Gardner-Johnson would leave. Those type of personalities never stay in one place. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, for the most part, you had Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman mostly stayed in the same place, until he's start dealing with injuries and then he left. But it can't be like you can keep those guys around, right? Because you can always find reasons and ways to keep them around. As long as the production is matching, if the production is weighing everything, you can tolerate a person, right? They're more tolerable. But if you're like aggravating and you're getting smoked and beat every single week, or you're getting trucked every week, or you can't run in between the tackles, you're getting tackled for loss, like, no, you can't play on the team. But I think that it depends on the coach. I think it depends on the situation. It seems like with the Saints, the Saints don't really want like disruptions, right? They're not really keen on controversy, right? They real nip and tuck. I mean, from the inside of the organization to the people that cover the organization, like they don't like controversy like that. They don't like people prodding around or creating storylines and press clippings, They try to stay away from those type of things, which is I can understand. But, to say that C.J. Gardner-Johnson isn't good enough to be around the team, I'm not saying that you're saying this, or saying that his personality can't fit in a locker room. I disagree with that. I just think it depends on the type of coach that you have on your team to be able to tolerate that. I think if you have like a Pete Carroll type coach, a guy that can kind of, reel guys in, a Belichick or something like that, guys that, kind of controversial, but they can do what it takes in order to get those guys on the straight and narrow. They can find homes and be there for a long time. I mean, even John Harbaugh, look at Marcus Peters. Look how many years he's been with the Baltimore Ravens, right? This will probably be already read that one. Let me scroll down a little bit. What up, TJ? Even friend from my opposing division rivals think Cam deserves an extension. Yeah, of course. I mean, look, man, at the end of the day, you got to recognize greatness. Like, seriously. I know we joke around and make fun of like people like Matt Ryan and all that kind of stuff, but Matt Ryan was a good quarterback in the division. He was, Cam Newton, he was a real good quarterback in the division. Tom Brady, when he was there, he was a good quarterback. Even though he wasn't what he was in New England, he still was a great quarterback. Like we joke around and make fun of each other and stuff like that. It's all in like fun, rivalry stuff. But you recognize greatness when you see it. When you see guys like Steve Smith, right? That's greatness right there. That's dog right there, right? I mean, you have no choice but to respect that. I mean, you think about the division now. Like you have Desmond Ridder, who wears the number 9. You have Bryce Young, who wears the number 9. Why do those guys wear the number 9? Because of the quarterback that the Saints had in Drew Brees, right? So great. I mean, look, you can't deny greatness. You can't deny it. Right? So, I mean, Cam Jordan has been great. And I know a Falcon fan got to recognize that greatness because how many times the Cam Jordan has sacked Matt Ryan over the years? My goodness. But look, I mean, you got to recognize greatness, man, at the end of the day. Anybody seen PB in the chat? No, I ain't seen PB in the chat and I ain't seen him. Cam shine like the sun. PB is not allowed in this chat. Correct. Nobody. Let's see, especially Joe Vitt. Yeah, Joe Vitt. Best decision the Saints made. Cam is still that dude. TJ, what are you hearing out about rookie minicamp as far as standouts? I ain't really hearing too much of anything. I mean, it's pretty, kind of laid back, just trying to get these guys acclimated to the playbook. I ain't really hearing too much about any standouts or anything like that, which you're probably not going to hear, man. These guys out here with shorts and T-shirts on, trying to throw the football, running routes and stuff like that. So I ain't really hear too much of anything. I've heard some positive things when it comes to Jake Hayner, throwing the football. I heard some up and down by A.T. Perry, but I would take that with a grain of salt, man. You're really going to find out what these young guys can do, like when the helmets and stuff like that come on. You know what I'm saying? When they in shoulder pads. That's when you're really going to see what these guys can do. But, I mean, as far as like rookie minicamp, you ain't really going to find that out. I mean, it's just a 3-day weekend. 3 days and you just basically trying to look at everybody and hopefully that you find a person that can be able to be on your team and maybe not go somewhere else and be an issue. I think I was looking at Sean Payton interview. He was talking with the Denver Broncos. He was talking about rookie camp. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. Like you try to find these diamonds in the rough in a 3-day weekend. So, I mean, to say that anybody stood out or what, if I heard anybody stand out, I ain't really hear anything. Cam isn't what he used to be, but he still demands a double team on every play. You might not hear from him when he's getting double, but other teams should need to double him on most plays. Valuable. Well, I mean, look, of course he's not what he used to be. I mean, you've been in the league for going on 13 seasons. So, ain't nobody what they used to be. Look, you live long enough for all my young viewers out there. Live long enough and you're going to find out, right? When you think you can sit up here and dunk the ball and put your arm in the rim and, catch one-hand snags and do all these pirouettes in the air and backflip, like all these things. Just start living a little bit longer and you'll soon find out that, you ain't going to end up being what you used to be. And, you're going to have to slow down a little bit. So, I mean, but at the same time, he's still disruptive. And, I'm saying? He's still a valuable asset to this team, So as long as he's that, I say keep him around. I heard that Hayner impressed. Yeah, I mean, Hayner is a guy who, once again, I feel like, his height had a lot to do with his draft position. I really feel that. I really feel that way. He has a high completion percentage. He has a high football IQ. And I don't think it's a coincidence that the Saints went after him. I think that he can be, I don't want to say he can be a starting quarterback. I don't know. But I know he can be around the league for a long time. And who knows, with the right development, right coaching, he might end up being a really good quarterback. Falcon fans out here actually respecting Cam. I mean, they had no choice. He ain't got much of a choice. Once again, you have no choice but to respect greatness. I know, if I can use a boxing example, right? People, when they talk about Floyd Mayweather, you may not like Floyd Mayweather flashing his money everywhere, flashing all his jewelry, talking about and showing his lifestyle and all that kind of stuff might aggravate you. But when he get in the ring, right, he go up against some of the best and make those guys look like they don't even belong in the ring with him. What can you do with that, right? You may not like the way that he approaches, everything or the way he presents himself, but you have no choice but to respect his greatness. When it comes to Cam Jordan, if you're a Falcon fan or a Panthers fan or a Bucs fan, you have no choice but to respect this dude because he has been one of the reasons for many more times than not, your team has not found success against the Saints. So what can you do with that? Did we get details on the contract yet? I figured we extend Cam, but curious to know the numbers. Nah, I ain't hear nothing yet. I don't even know if this story is true. I mean, I don't know if they are talking or what. I mean, they're talking. I mean, could be talking to his agent or talking to somebody, you know, that knows Cam. I mean, they'll take it any way they can get it, right? I don't know how true that is, to be honest with you, but I hope that is true. And he did comment on it. And my thing is, if it wasn't true, I don't think he probably would have touched it. I'm late to the show, but TJ, how you think Cam? Let me see. How you think Cam is worth now? I think that he should be a Saint for life. I think he should be a Saint for life based on his production, the way that he's continuing to play, the leadership that he has, and what he means to this organization. He deserves to be extended. I ain't saying like 5, 6 years or nothing like that, but I say about 2 or 3. That should be like, the shelf life of a player of his caliber. 14, 15 years. And I'm pretty sure, honestly, I think if the New Orleans Saints was to go to the Super Bowl and win, or even go to the Super Bowl, I think that probably that following year, he'll probably contemplate retirement. Because here's the thing. Cam Jordan is so talented at so many things. Like we see him doing sideline reporting. I'm pretty sure he's going to have a future in television somewhere. He's going to be a color commentator or sitting at a front desk of an NFL show. We see him like contributing to the USFL. He's on NFL Network, on Good Morning Football. I mean, he has trust levels with Mark Ingram. So, I mean, he doesn't honestly, the sky's the limit for this guy. So if the Saints can find a way to make it to the Super Bowl this year, I think that he probably would consider retiring the following year. I think he wants to go to the Super Bowl. I think that's what he's chasing right now. Well, I know he wants to go to the Super Bowl. I think that's what he's chasing. And I think that if he gets there, and Lord knows if they win, I think that he'll probably hang it up. I don't think he want to be like one of those guys that's like 40 years old still playing football. I think the thrill of the chase of a championship is keeping his motor running hot consistently as it has. Cam terrorized Matt Ryan for years. Dirty Pigeons have no choice but to respect the whole. I hope trying not PB masquerading under another name. Well, if he is masquerading under another name, that's just a testament to how good I am as a host and how good this show is as a show. It's amazing to me, people will have a problem with something I say and do, but they get tossed up out of here and then they get reincarnated in the form of somebody else. It's amazing, man. I never seen anything like this. I thought, it's amazing how people reincarnate themselves for a show that they don't like and a host that don't know what the hell he's talking about. Ain't that amazing? It's amazing, right? It's amazing. I mean, if I wasn't feeling nobody, I ain't gonna watch. I ain't gonna even try to find a way to see where they at. I'm gonna exit stage left, man. I ain't gonna think twice about it. But that's a testament to the entertaining aspect of this show. It's a testament to, I'm gonna say it, myself as a host and the comment section and what people contribute to this show. So you may not like some of the things that I say, but like Cam Jordan, you gotta respect me. Mike the GOAT Evans is a top 10 receiver of all time and is a Tampa legend. Check the stats. Look, I ain't got no problem with, I agree with that. Mike Evans is a legend. We can talk about the battles with Marshawn Lattimore, but the dude is a legend. He deserves respect. I'll give him that. You may not like him or the matchups when he go up against Lattimore, and Lattimore does have his number. We got to say that, yeah, he wins from time to time, but for the most part, Lattimore has his number. But he is a legend, and when you have those many 1,000-yard seasons, and, I mean, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers ain't really had no, really solid quarterback play consistently. No disrespect to Jameis Winston. But over the years, since he got into the league, you know what I'm saying? You've had injuries, and you had guys like Fitzpatrick throwing him the football. You got, all these other guys that may have came in because of guys being injured throwing him the football, but he continues to catch 1,000 yards. I mean, go for 1,000 yards. So that's a testament to him. Like, I can't even hate. Like, I'm not one of them people that just gonna poo-poo on somebody. Like, I love the New Orleans Saints, which y'all all know, but I'm not gonna sit up here and just try to fabricate because I don't like somebody or I don't like the team. I respect the game because anybody that ever played any organized sport or even played football understands how hard it is to play at a level consistently, going up against different competition, going up against guys of all different shapes and sizes, abilities, skill sets, and you still out there doing your thing. So I got respect for him. I got respect for him, no doubt about that. I was watching the USFL football this past Saturday, and Cam was speaking in the background. No, I don't. I only read you. Let me see. The GOAT League facts. We'll research first, ma'am. Let's see. Yeah, Jerry, the Breakers lost the first game this season. Yeah, the Breakers are pretty good. Reincarnated, he bathed in the Lazarus pit. TJ, the GOAT of Indie Saints podcast. I appreciate that. We got 90 people in the chat and 3 likes. Let me see. Guys, hit the like button. Who that? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think we have more likes than that. Another Sucking This fan in the chat. Keep up the great work, TJ. If Cam got 22 more sacks, he'll pass Ricky Jackson as our all-time sack leader. 27 more sacks, and he'll rank 8 all-time. No, Cam Jordan already the all-time leader in sacks. He passed Ricky Jackson this past year, didn't he? He already passed Ricky Jackson. He had 115 and a half sacks. I think he passed Ricky Jackson already. Didn't he? Didn't he pass Ricky Jackson? Didn't he become the all-time leader in sacks for the Saints? Nope, trying, no research needed. You will provide everything I need for me. Negative. We'll see. I don't know what the heck going on here. Yeah, they should resign him. Yeah, hit that like button on T Dirty Words. That $2 million coming out your check. TJ, are we playing with house money with the depth at linebacker? I don't think so. Look, when I look at this linebacker room, I'm gonna just be honest with you. I don't know what to think. I know we thought we needed help at linebacker last year, and it ended up not being as bad as we thought. Right? You had guys like Caden Ellis stepping up. You had guys like P. Warner emerging. You had Demario Davis still out there doing his thing. And, you know, I believe in a guy like DeMarco Jackson. I think that the New Orleans Saints aren't shopping around. That should tell you a lot. That should tell you something. If the Saints aren't shopping around for a linebacker to replace the production of a Caden Ellis coming in mid-season and being on that little path or war path that he was on, that tells you something. It's rather him or Zach Bond got better. I would like to prefer DeMarco Jackson getting better because DeMarco Jackson wasn't bad. He just got hurt. And because he got hurt, I don't think a lot of people got an opportunity to look at him. And by not looking at him, I don't think he instilled enough confidence for us to believe that, you know, he's capable of replacing, you know, a guy like Caden Ellis or contributing as a linebacker, which I can understand. Got to see it. TJ, did you see I decided to go to grad school at the University of Iowa? No, I didn't see that, man, but I'm glad that you did. Congratulations to you, man, and good luck to you. You know, all the success in the world, man. I mean, you know, grad school a little bit of different vibe than undergrad, but you know, it's a lot of research. But it's worth it, man. It's worth it. Yeah, he already passed Ricky. Yeah, I was to say, I think he passed Ricky already. Hit that like button and subscribe to the SOTS on your way in, and also the Gumbo Pot Sports podcast. Can't forget about that too. No, I know a lot of people are mad because, you know, I mean, but look, man, shouts out to Aisha. I don't know, some of you probably checked out the Gumbo Pot. She covers the Dallas Cowboys. She's a military vet. She was wounded in active duty a couple of years ago. I met her at the NFL Combine, man. Shouts out to Haley Sutton. I met them, and we were like sitting there in the media area, you know, chopping it up, talking about, you know, sports or what have you like that. She has like this cool service dog that rolls with her, and man, like she's extremely kind. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's cool, man, because, you know, having an opportunity to go out there and see so many different reporters and meet so many different people, now, you know, we can I can, reach out to individuals and, be able to talk about, different teams, and we can learn more, and I enjoy doing the Gumbo Pot Sports podcast. No, what I'm saying? Sometimes it's hit and miss, but, sometimes, you got to suspend your biases, in order for us to try to figure out what's going on with the team. And, like I said, I said at the beginning of the show, you all are the reason why, we're branching out, why the State of Saints podcast, has branched out to the Gumbo Pot Sports podcast, because of all you wonderful people who have helped this show grow. And, and I'm happy, I'm happy of doing this. I love sports. I love talking about sports, and, we hitting the ground running, man. So sit back, relax, and enjoy it. But State of Saints podcast, as y'all can see, ain't going nowhere. I got a lot in the tank, right? I can do both shows, and hopefully you all enjoy both of them. Let's see. Tim, thank you very much for the 550. Said TJ Jones, been a minute. Glad you shining. Random question. Have you seen in the movie 300? It is the best. We need to channel that energy this year. This is going to sound crazy, but I never seen the movie 300. I never seen it. Like I know all the catchphrases, the how-woos and all that, but I never seen that movie ever. Never seen it. I remember when it first came out. I was in Dallas, Texas. I was on a trip. Some of you know I minored in theater, and we was in a theater competition, and we stopped at the mall, and we was going to be there for a couple hours. A couple of my friends, they end up going to see 300. I wasn't feeling it. You know what I'm saying? Like I wanted to, go to the mall and just chill out, eat or whatever like that. And when they came back, all of a sudden, like they were just up there chanting, oh, all that kind of stuff. And I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. But, I never seen that movie. And this may be another shocker. I never seen a Star Wars movie either, ever. I never seen no Star Wars movie. I know the characters, but I never watched any Star Wars movie ever. That's a little something that y'all may not know about me. But I never seen a Star Wars movie. And so that's why I try to remove myself from conversations where they involve Star Wars, because I know how people get when it comes to Star Wars movies. When you start like misquoting and misnaming people, not naming people the right names, C3PO and R232 and all that. You start missing names, they get mad at you. The Star Wars fans, they be hardcore. They be wanting to fight. Cam Jordan should be a Hall of Famer if he stopped playing now. Of course, man. Shouts out to my big brother, EJ. I hope you ain't at work. Hey, man, shouts out to him, man. He's a school teacher out in New Orleans, man. Shouts out to him. I don't know if you are y'all still testing down there, man? Are y'all still testing down there, E? But, man, shouts out to my brother, man. Extremely supportive. Y'all know how I feel about my brother, man. One of the main reasons I'm into sports the way that I am. I ended up learning sports because I wanted to have conversations with him. That's my big brother, that's my role model. He did everything first, you know what I'm saying? He basically tested the water for a lot of things that I end up doing. He's 3 years older than me. He went to college, and I can remember like talking to him and asking him what college is like. I'll never forget that. I was so scared about going to college. I was like, man, I didn't want to fail. And we sitting at I'll never forget this. We sitting at the Broad bus stop, and we like just sitting on this little curb. And I was like, man, what college like? He was like, college is what you make it. I'll never forget him saying that to me. And I took that with me, man. So, man, my brother is my hero. I mean that from the bottom of my heart, man. And he's still my hero, still out there, encouraging kids, empowering kids, instilling knowledge in them, for the next generation. So shouts out to my big brother, EJ. Let's see. Can't hear the name Aisha without thinking of the ABC song. ABC, Aisha. I don't even. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, Aisha, you the girl that I never had. That song. 300 is a beast, TJ. Let's see. Don't feel bad, TJ. I never seen Scarface. Hey man, hey, I ain't gonna lie. I seen Scarface for the first time a couple of years ago. Hey. This was a killer for me. My wife gonna kill me if she sees this. She said she never seen Boys in the Hood. I was like, what? I ain't like, I thought she was joking, because if you ever met my wife, like sometimes like she's so sarcastic at times, like you don't know if she joking or she's serious, like you don't know. I'm like, man, you ain't never seen Boys in the Hood? That was a shocker to me. there are very few classics, within the African American community that you have got to have watched throughout your lifetime. Juice, School Days, Love and Basketball, Boys in the Hood. Did I mention Juice? Did I say Juice? Well, I'm gonna say Juice again. And you probably can add on like The Best Man, The Wood. Like, yeah, your card get revoked. TJ, please put 300. Put it in the agenda. I'll check it out, man. I'll make sure I check that out. I'll check that out. But also, man, cult classics. Now, I ain't gonna just say within the African American community, they got cult classics too. Scarface is one. Give me another one. What's another like cult classic that you have to see? The Godfather is another. Rambo, like you gotta watch Rambo. Terminator, at least the first two Terminators. I mean, come on, man. Yeah, Menace to Society. Yeah, that's the one with Kane. As y'all can see, man, we towards the end of the show. There it is, TJ. Aisha. I didn't see it 4 years ago. Boys in the Hood. You didn't see Boys in the Hood till 4 years ago. Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, New Jack City. Yep. Nino Brown. Let's see. You said you seen Scarface for the first time a few years. Yeah, like for real. I only seen it like in pieces. I only like like certain parts. Like, man, y'all know how it is, man. You like when everybody knows the movies and knows the lines, and you just try to fake it to make it. Yeah, that's kind of like how it was. Like I seen Scarface in pieces. Like I seen the end. Like we all seen the end when Tony Montana was going to war with Homeboy and stuff like that. Like he got shot about 1 million gazillion times. Everybody kind of seen that, but at the end of the day, I mean, I ain't really sit there and watch the whole movie. I mean, the movie is like 3 freaking hours, if I'm not mistaken. The first 3-hour movie I think I ever seen was Pearl Harbor, and that's because I was in 12th grade and my teacher took us to see that. So that was like the first 3-hour movie that I would just watch. Malcolm X probably was second. I never seen School Days. Man, yeah, you gotta watch that. Don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's a classic too. We ain't even do nothing. You think you tough. Hate y'all black. You stink. I hate my gums because they black. I hate black keys on the piano. I hate black pepper. I hate Whoopi Goldberg's lips. Hate the back and forth with his neck. Huh? And worst of all, I hate that black Wesley Snipes. Come on. That's a classic right there. Some of y'all don't know what I'm talking about. Or if you just told it, you're like, man, TJ, what are you talking about? What does that have to do with Cam Jordan? We at the end of the show, man. This is where we have the fun. This is where the fun comes in. I already read that one. Roderick, thank you very much for $5, by the way. Let's see. How to Be a Player. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a classic, too, with Bill Bellamy. Somebody give me some more. And then we're going to get to the final thoughts. We're going to go Jerry Springs. Rest in peace, Jerry Springs. Final thoughts. Hey, man. Hey, they got a few movies I probably know line for line. You know what I'm saying? The movie Booty Call is funny. Yeah, that was funny right there. Let's see. Do we have a problem? It said, do we have a problem? Yeah, Crooklyn. Yeah, now Crooklyn is a little bit more of a different vibe, but yeah, that in the Inkwell with Lorenz Tate on there and Suzanne Douglas, may she rest in peace. Like that was probably one of those classics too. Like those are one of those movies. Like, man, yeah, Coming to America. Yeah, Coming to America. Who don't know a line in Coming to America? Who don't know a line for that? Jerry said, "Lean on me." Jerry, you know what you was doing.
You smoke crack, don't you? Look at me, boy. Don't you smoke crack?
Oh, yeah, we're going to use that in 2023. I know for a fact. Some games, people going to be overreacting. Boy, we're going to be using you smoke crack, don't you, soundbite here on the show. Y'all know. The Color Purple. Yeah, The Color Purple. Sophia coming through the bushes. Shh. You told Harpo to beat me. I love Harpo. God knows I do. But I'll kill him dead before I let him beat me. Hey, man, that's a classic right there, too. Let's see. Coming to America. Yeah, that's a classic. All them nice. Quick. You can kill my brother quick. The only way you leaving is shot. And boy said, what you gonna do with that lift? Stop it. Stop it. Don't shoot that little mother lover no more. Oh, man, there's some classics right here. I know some of y'all like, man, what is going on? But yeah. But final thought, Cam Jordan. Cam Jordan deserves to be extended by the New Orleans Saints. All right, he deserves it. He's a really good player. He's been a really good player for the New Orleans Saints. He has been an ambassador for the team. He has been a really good look. And as long as he continues to produce, I think that they should keep him around. I'm not saying 7 years or anything like that, but as long as he can contribute to the team, not just in a leadership role, but on the field, you should try to find a way to keep him around. The 5 heartbeats. Nights like this, I wish that raindrops would fall. Let's see. It says TJ play that DA walk. Let's see if we can find the DA walk in here. Let's see. Oh man. Yeah, man. That DA walk ain't never gonna get old. I can't believe I still had that soundbite though. Let's see. I just hope the Saints ain't smoking crack this season. I hope not either. Somebody gonna need to go to rehab. By rehab, I mean cut. But thank you all so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. And on your way out, hit that like button. All right. Subscribe to the Gumbo Pot Sports podcast. Gumbo Pot is also available on YouTube, youtube.com. Search Gumbo Pot Sports podcast. Previous episodes available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Anchor FM. Check out the brand new Gumbo Pot Sports webpage, gumbopotsports.com. Got 2 new articles that are out right now, 3 bold predictions for the NFL season. And I just wrote an article today about defensive end Cam Jordan. So get a little bit more in depth in the conversation that I was talking about today. Make sure that you subscribe to the webpage. Shouts out to everybody that has done that. And we got some more interviews, man, coming up real soon, man. So keep it locked right here to the State of the Saints podcast for all of your Saints news. Shouts out to everybody here. Shouts out to everybody in the chat. Thank you all so much. And until next time, all I got to say is, who dat?
Hey, don't let these tears fool you. There's all dog around this mug. I'm good.